So anyway, BPC-157, healing peptide, produced in the gut. And that's where you see some unbelievable responses, is in our patients we were treating for other things, and then they would come to us and say, hey, I used to have to take Peptide all the time, and now I don't take it at all. I have no heartburn. I feel better. My GI upset is gone. My Crohn's isn't as bad. I'm not telling you it heals it, but it does a great job. I had one patient that we were treating his father's severe dementia. I'd lectured on this at a conference, and the healing benefits of BPC-157 in the treatment of traumatic brain injury and subsequent dementia. And he said, well, it didn't work for the dementia, but he had dumping syndrome from a colectomy for cancer of the colon. And you can't imagine how awful this is to have a severe dementia patient with no control over his bowels. So he said, it didn't work for his dementia, but his dumping syndrome has resolved and he's doing fantastic. And I said, I'm going to count that as a cure, a win. I think that's fantastic. And I was really excited. We use BPC-157 mainly for orthopedic injuries, tendons, muscles. It works fantastic. It actually heals partial tears. So we'll get some rotator cuffs with partial tears, and in intelligent patients who won't go back in and lift extremely heavy weights and tear up their rotator cuff even worse. And we'll treat it sometimes with thymosin beta-4 first, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then BPC-157 to help the healing process. It's fantastic. We begin to use it in patients returning from combat overseas who had PTSD and traumatic brain injury with, again, unbelievable results. I used it, as a side note, I used it in my mother who had several severe falls and head trauma and developed severe dementia. We use BPC-157 orally, and we added a drug or a supplement called synapsin, which is RG3 from ginseng, methylated B12, and NR, which stimulates NAD. You'll be hearing more and more about NAD. And we've seen some fantastic results where the dementia markedly improved, and our patients, Navy SEALs, etc., in some of the major studies back east have done fantastic with the combination of BPC. So BPC-157, fantastic supplement, fantastic peptide. We use it a lot. It's injectable and oral.